Good evening, my Real News Midday TV family. Welcome back to the channel for another news update. And in the news this evening, food vendor caught urinating in bottle fined $300,000. The vendor caught on video peeing in a bottle just outside the Charles Garden Market in Montego Bay last year has been fined $300,000. Denise Adams, who sold yam and other produce on the outskirts of the market, pleaded guilty to 4 charges when she appeared before Judge Acacia Grant Price in the St. James Parish Court on Monday. Adams was fined $100,000 or 10 days in jail for unlawfully operating a food handling business without a permit. She was also fined $100,000 or 10 days in jail for unlawfully failing to apply for a food handler's permit before being employed in a food handling business. The vendor was also slapped with a $100,000 fine for unlawful urination and the storage of urine in a motor vehicle used to transport and store food and without washing her hands afterwards. She was admonished and discharged for the 4th charge, which was unlawfully offering for sale food that was exposed to contamination and in contact with human waste. During her first court appearance in September of last year, Adams entered a not guilty plea to the charges brought by the St. James Health Department, which said her behavior was in breach of the Public Health Food Handling Regulations 1998 revised 2000. In a video that went viral, Adams was seen urinating in a vehicle and storing the urine in a bottle inside it. In her defense, she told the St. James Health Department that she had issues with her knees that made movement difficult for her. Adams' case came on the heels of unsanitary practices by crab vendor Alice Waugh, who was caught on video defecating in a bucket inside her stall at a crab circle, and a clampdown on Boston Jerk in Portland after what health officials described as months of trying to get operators to address her shortcomings. Waugh is no longer allowed to sell at a crab circle, and the Boston Jerk has since reopened. Manchester Police Chief defends a response to domestic dispute incident. The leadership of the Manchester Police has defended the response of personnel in a domestic dispute incident in Mandeville on Monday, leading to the fatal shooting of a man moments after he wounded his elderly father with a machete. Head of the Manchester Police, Deputy Superintendent Kerry Duncan, said that the incident highlights the need for more amicable resolutions to disputes among relatives. This very unfortunate incident really underscores the importance of persons to find amicable and mature ways to treat with disputes. There are so many agencies that are available to assist in these areas, so we speak about the Community Safety and the Security Branch Department at my police station, chaplains, justices of the peace, and the restorative justice centers that are available, he said on Tuesday morning in an audio message. I just want to implore persons to raise their level of intellect when treating with disputes, and in order not to be violent, find more peaceful and amicable ways to deal with these incidents, he added. Duncan praised the personnel under his command for swiftly responding to the incident. I also would like to commend my team at Manchester, from the persons who received the initial telephone call and the immediate dispatch. As a matter of fact, the officers who responded were on their way almost off duty, and when they got the call, they immediately turned back and went, and in record time was at the location. And had it not been for that prompt response, I am almost certain the situation would have been far worse than it turned out to be, he said. He provided the police's account of the incident. A team of officers responded to a domestic dispute situation that was occurring at number 15 the Carteret Road in Mandeville, Manchester. On the arrival of the police, they observed a man who was later identified as Mr. Okari Gale, who was armed with a machete, inflicting chop wounds to an elderly gentleman who was lying helplessly on the ground. The police team gave clear instructions to Mr. Gale to drop the machete that he was armed with, but instead of dropping the machete, Mr. Gale held the machete in the air and threatened to kill the elderly man who was on the ground. The police at this point discharged their weapons in the air in a bid to have Mr. Gale drop the machete, and to cease the attack, said Duncan. Mr. Gale, however, continued the attack on the helpless man who was on the ground, and at this point, for the fear that the man on the ground would be further injured or killed by Mr. O'Kerry Gale, the police officers, in defense of the gentleman's life, discharged their weapons in the direction of Mr. O'Kerry Gale, who was hit, he added. The Independent Commission of Investigation is probing the incident. Bodies of men believed to be close relatives found in St. Anne. The St. Anne police have launched a death investigation after the bodies of 2 men were found at a house in Dumbarton near Discovery Bay, St. Anne on Monday. While the identities of the men have not been disclosed, residents say the pair are believed to be a father and his son who have not been seen since late December. Checks were made at the premises on Monday and the bodies were found in a state of decomposition. The police were alerted and the bodies removed to the morgue for a post-mortem to be conducted at a later date. The men were reportedly ailing for some time, according to residents. 2 bodies found in landing gear of JetBlue plane at a Florida airport. 2 bodies were found in the landing gear compartment of a JetBlue aircraft at a South Florida airport, authorities said. The bodies were located in the Wheelwell area Monday night at Fort Lauderdale Hollywood International Airport, the airline said in a statement to the Associated Press. They were discovered during a routine post-flight maintenance inspection, JetBlue said. The aircraft had arrived in Fort Lauderdale shortly after 11 p.m. from John F. Kennedy International Airport in New York. At this time, the identities of the individuals and the circumstances surrounding how they accessed the aircraft remain under investigation, JetBlue's statement read. This is a heartbreaking situation, and we are committed to working closely with authorities to support their efforts to understand how this occurred, the airline added. Paramedics declared both of them dead at the scene, the Broward County Sheriff's Office said Tuesday. The agency's homicide and crime scene units are investigating, it said. The individuals' names were not immediately released. It is the second time over the past month that a body has been found in the wheel well of an airplane. In late December, a body was found in the wheel well of a United Airlines plane after it landed in Moy from Chicago. The airline industry in recent months has also been dealing with unticketed passengers found in cabins. In November, a Russian national who did not have a ticket boarded a Paris-bound Delta Airlines flight in New York and was arrested when the plane touched down in France. She had somehow bypassed the security to board the flight, authorities said. Then, on Christmas Eve, a passenger without a ticket boarded a Delta Airlines flight from Seattle to Honolulu. The passenger was discovered while the plane was taxiing for departure, Delta said at the time. Long paper chase to implement a paperless court system. The Ministry of Justice says funds have been allocated for the implementation of the Rwanda model of an integrated electronic case management system in the courts, but the authorities appear to be dragging their feet in getting the system off the ground. Chief Justice Brent Sykes declared on Monday that any further delay in the implementation of the paperless system within the courts poses a threat to the country's economic performance. Justice Minister Delroy Chuck, speaking with the news following Justice Sykes' pronouncement, expressed the disappointment that the system has not yet come to fruition.
We sent in a request for the software. It came back that they were asking for the cost of the hardware, and then that took up a long time. When I heard about it, I said, forget hardware, deal with the software. Let us get the software going, because that is what the synergy and the Rwanda would assist us in putting that in place. And once we put that in place and the training starts, then we can buy the hardware that we need. To the best of my knowledge, the matter is still going, around the various departments, Ministry of Finance, everywhere, as before this matter can go to cabinet. So the truth of the matter is, speaking as Minister of Justice, I am totally fed up with the whole procurement system to get this paperless system in place. I have been begging for the past 15 months to let us see if we can get this done. Every 3 months I ask, when can I take this matter to cabinet? We might start the process, but I mean, the money we have to put the paperless system in place will not be spent in this fiscal year.
Thank you everyone for watching. See you tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. for another news update.